Hey guys, Stanford here from the Fun Robotics Network, and welcome back to an episode of Behind the Bumpers. And today I'm hanging out with Team 9408 at the SoCal District Champs, and we're going to be taking a look at this really great machine they've got here. Their robust, powerful intake, their hopper, their shooter, custom machine drum they've got in there, custom machine pulleys, all the awesome software that powers it. So stay tuned for a look at all that and more on our episode of Behind the Bumpers. All right, David, take it away.
All right, so we're going to talk about the intake right here. So for this event, we went with a slap-down intake, similar to Citrus for this event, with one 2-inch roller right here with some silicone on it and polycarbonate. And we did some custom stub pulleys for it because we wanted it to go into the tube as well, along with holding the silicone on it, which you can see right here. And we also reused a stub shaft so we didn't have to manufacture even more parts. And this is 2 parts where the whole pulley and the teeth is one part, the flange is another, and we just Loctite it in. And along with it, we're using 2 X60s because what we found was that using X44s would stall the motor when our hopper was full. So we wanted as much torque as we could get to push up the hopper. Along with, we have a billeted 1x1 right here for the crash bar, just to help with the frontal impacts.
Before we get to our next segment, we'd like to thank the following. It isn't too late to order competition apparel for your team at FRC Tees. Founded by FIRST alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with expedited options available, go to frctees.com to see why hundreds of teams are making FRC Tees their first choice for their apparel needs. That's frctees.com. Osh Cut is the premier metal cutting service for first teams. No minimum order, options for same-day turnaround, 3D tube laser cutting, and with nearly 500 variations of metal in stock and ready to cut. Just upload a file and claim your 50% off discount when you scan the QR code or go to funroboticsnetwork.com/OSHCUT.
All right, so now going into our hopper walls are 2 090-inch polycarb, and so we went with three slots, and so that's just so we can get our hopper wall out pretty easily. And then we have 1/4-inch corrugated plastic on top and at the front. This is so we just get like a thicker material, but also we went with corrugated because it's way lighter compared to like polycarb. And then we have a cargo net. This is because of our intake. Our intake shoots the balls pretty easily, and so the net protects it from getting into the shooter. And so now going into our hopper floor, it's powered by 1 X60, and that's right there down in the middle. And so that's on a 2-to-1 ratio going into these 2 live axle rollers that have 2-inch flex wheels on. And so that's just for agitation of the rollers. We did a lot of testing, and so that's what we found was pretty good. And then our hopper is actually, the center to center distance is 60 thou closer compared to like what a belt calculator would give you. And that's because we saw in the thread that the Cheesy Poops had, it worked better for efficiency with them. And so we have 5 polycarb, we have 5 rollers, and 2 of them being carbon fiber. And this is because going into our uptake, we found that a lot of compression on the ball actually decreases our balls per second. So we went with 3/8 inch compression, and that's allowed us to get up to 18 balls per second.
So I want to go back to your intake really quick. How are you guys powering that in and out? And then what were some kind of iterations you guys ran through with that?
Yeah, so on this side of the robot, we have a gearbox. And so this is on a 65-to-1 ratio. And so we have a chain run right here, and that goes to a jack shaft. And then we have a chain run here and on the other side, so we can get an even amount of the pivoting. And we have a floating sprocket here too because we saw that the chain actually stretches a lot. So at the beginning of the season we had a 36 there, but it's now grown to a 40, and that's because of how much the chain actually stretches. And that's all powered on 1 Kraken X60.
All right, awesome stuff. Let's go ahead and hear about the shooter.
On the shooter, we have a 4-inch drum right here that we machined down the face of it. We did all of this just for the accuracy and consistency of the shot. We have on the back right here, we have 4 X60s powering it to keep our RPM up. We always wanted that because we wanted to keep our RPMs high to keep our shot consistent. On the hood, we have this bar right here for our backspin that allow our shot to spin while shooting, so we can have more consistent shots, so the shots would arc better into the hub. On the back, we also have herringbone gears. We did this so the slop on our hood wouldn't be super bad, because we wanted the hood to be as stable as possible while shooting a high load or a high amount of fuel. Up here we have our lime lights. We use these for positioning on the field, and Jamie could talk more about that.
Really quick, I wanted to ask about some of the kind of things you tried with the shooter that didn't work, or other ideas you guys have for upgrades.
So our first version of our shooter, we had actually lanes. We had 3 lanes instead of having a drum. So when we first built that, we figured out that the lanes would like clog up. So we wanted to have a throughput that allowed the balls to go up into the shooter easier. And we also added these ribs right here on the side of the shooter as well. That was just to help when the hood went up, the flow of the balls would actually come in this way. And we add these so that it would actually stay flat and it'll stay where the rollers are.
And what material is this drum made out of?
It's actually it's a 4-inch aluminum round stock that we bought off McMaster.
All right, awesome stuff. Let's go and hear about all this software.
Yes, so as Dylan was talking about before, pose estimation is a big part of our performance in both tele and auto. In auto specifically, we've adopted a sort of drive with velocity inspired from 2056, in which they're able to control their drivetrain with velocity through specific points. As well as this in auto, we've actually made 2 selectors on our dashboard in which we're able to control each sweep individually. So our autos are much more have a lot more customization and variance as well. And our driver assists do not end there, where we've actually created an entire FMS util in which we're able to keep track of our times and shifts in the match. So at home where we don't have an FMS, we actually have an alliance randomizer, which keeps our drive practice from becoming bland and keeps us on our feet. Moving back over towards our intake pivot is controlled with FOC torque control while we're shooting. So while we're shooting, if our hopper is full, our intake will come up a lot more slow than it would if we had an empty hopper.
And are you guys have like a custom path planning solution, or are you guys just using Path Planner and with like different paths?
There's actually been a lot of progression with our autos, in which we initially went from using only Path Planner to using Path Planner not at all, to using kind of a mix between Codebase and Path Planner. So we actually do call our points in Path Planner so we can have that visualization of creating our autos, but we also do have our sort of sequencing and, like I mentioned before, drive with velocity, which allows us to control our autos much more simple than it would if we didn't have this sort of auto creation.
And what sort of hardware are you using for localization? I see you have some Limelights, but how many do you have? And then
so we do have 2 Limelight 4s positioned, one at the top of our shooter so that we're able to see the hub while we're shooting, and then the second one is down here, which is used for cases where we do not see a tag on our top limelight. So this is especially useful in auto, where we do a lot of turns and sometimes we lose sight of the hub, which makes it a lot more difficult to have pose estimation without that bottom limelight. As well as this, we also do have 4 encoders on our swerves, which keep track of our swerves position in order to have perfect, well, not so perfect, pose estimation.
all right, folks, so that's your look at this 9408 Warbots machine here at the SoCal District Championships. These guys have been looking incredible. So definitely check these guys out. Hopefully, if they make it to the World Championship, which, you know, with this, how good this thing is, I'm feeling pretty good about their chances. So take a look at these guys. Thank you so much for allowing us to come and take a look at your robot, and good luck with the rest of your competition.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. Osh Cut is the premier metal cutting service for first teams. No minimum order, options for same-day turnaround, 3D tube laser cutting, and with nearly 500 variations of metal in stock and ready to cut. Just upload a file and claim your 50% off discount when you scan the QR code or go to funroboticsnetwork.com/OSHCUT. It isn't too late to order competition apparel for your team at FRC Tees. Founded by First alumni and offering a free 14-day turnaround with expedited options available, go to frctees.com to see why hundreds of teams are making FRC Tees their first choice for their apparel needs. That's frctees.com.